Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Stay there 1 minute. Shut the door. Hey guys, hey. How are you doing this morning? Just had to shut the office door. So, how are you this morning? This is Freedom Friday, and this is your girl Yvonne Michelle from YvonneMichelle.com. Yes. How are you this morning? This morning is Freedom Friday, and we are just moving straight ahead. Now, we have been looking at self love, loving the self that you are, loving the self that you are, which has been prompted from um, an evening show after dark that I do, and it's all about self care. And we were looking on the show. We was looking on rejection, and what happened was is that I got some correspondence from those people who were watching, which really alarmed me. And I did some research and found out that suicide is up in the UK. In the UK, suicide rates are up by 200%, which alarmed me. So we started to look at self love, loving the self that you are. Yes, and so we've been doing this for a couple of days now, and I do still getting lots of correspondence about this, and I believe that it's something that we do need to discuss, and we need to be aware of, and we need to be loving those around us as well as loving ourselves, and seeing ourselves maybe as a separate entity from the things that we do. I'm going to say that again. I said perhaps we need to see ourselves as a separate entity from the things that we actually do. So that means that if you are a business owner, that means that if you are a coach, someone is in the service provider, if you're an author, that your product is actually separate from you, that you separate the two and see yourself as the God, the Queen, the King that you are in your kingly state, right? So, good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, MediaNet Live. And good morning, Love Zone Radio. I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. Now, it is Freedom Friday, and this is the day that you get to ask questions. This is the day that you get to correspond and we talk to each other. If you have nothing to say, then we move on. But this is where we have dialogue. This is where you talk to me, I talk to you, and we grow together. Right, so, um, okay, so today, because of what we have been talking about throughout the week, and because we have been looking at loving the self that you are, so the question is, who are you? Who are you? Who are you at your core? And this is a question that you should be asking yourself often. Who are you? And reevaluate who you are. What are your beliefs? What are your core beliefs? What are your values? Where are you today? You know, these are the questions that we have to use to examine ourselves on a regular basis so that we know that we are catching up with ourselves as coaches, as business owners, as entrepreneurs. You know, we want to be able to check in with ourselves, because there's no point in checking in with everybody else and you can't check in with yourself. All right, so the self comes first, and this is why we talk about loving the self. There we go. Loving the self that you are. So, good morning, everybody. Right, and so I was thinking about the process of what was going on, and how people are feeling, and I wanted to think about. I wanted to think about how do we help people to overcome? How do we help those who are struggling, right? And I read this book. I'm going to share this with you. This is a book called The Success Principles. Right, this is a book I read. It's one of the many books that I read because I am a reader. I love reading, and if I don't get to read, I listen. I have audiobooks, and I just opened it up. I literally opened it up this morning. Just before I just came in the room, just went bam, open. And what came up? It's amazing how things happen. Is the Total Truth Letter. Now we were talking about, because sometimes there are things, let me read this out. None of us can change our yesterdays, but all of us can change our tomorrows. Let me just say that again for you, because this is a nugget in itself. None of us can change our yesterdays, but all of us, every single one of us, has the ability and the capability of changing our tomorrows. Now that was inspired by a man called Colin Powell, who was the Secretary of State for the United States many years ago. He made that statement. None of us can change our yesterdays, but all of us can change our tomorrows. This is the power that you have. It's Freedom Friday. It's Freedom Friday. It's Freedom Friday. It's Freedom Friday right now. Right? It's time to shake yourself loose. It's time to get free. It's time to let go of all the things of the past. It's time to let it just lay it over there. It's time to release your mind. It's time to free your mind. It's time to rejuvenate. It's time to revive. It's time to restore, replenish. So what are you replenishing with? What are you replenishing with? So here it says, right. I just love the statement. I just love the statement because the statement is powerful. None of us can change our yesterdays, but all of us, every single one of us, can change, have the ability, the capability, and the probability to change our tomorrow. So that means that how things look today, it's not going to look like that tomorrow. That's a boom. Right, so those of you who may be feeling low, those of you who are struggling in yourself, those of you who are looking for this person to complete a conversation, it's time to let that go. Right? Many of us have had things go on. Many of us have been struggling with a person that doesn't even know that we're struggling with them. They don't even know, because the struggle is an internal struggle. And actually it doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a thing. It could be a situation. It could be a job. It could be anything. It could be a colleague. It could be anything. Right? The struggle is over. The struggle is over. Why do I say that? How can you say that, Yvonne Michelle? I can say that the struggle is over because at the end of the day, you determine the struggle. You are the person who determines the struggle this morning. You are the person who can change your tomorrow. You are a creator. You are the creator in your life. Boom. No one else. It's you. It's on you. So it's how you think about it, right? So anyway, I said I was going to tell you about this. It's a technique and it's called the Total Truth Letter. Now it's something that I use in workshops with young people, especially young people. And this works like a dream. Okay, so you write a letter about or to the person or to the situation that's causing you the pain, right? Remember what pain is. Pay attention inward now. So you take the pain, you feel the pain, you associate with the pain, okay? You're associating with it. It's not a great feeling. It don't feel good. But you know what? At the end of the day, at the end of the very day, you're going to be setting yourself free. Okay? It may not feel good right now, but it's not always going to feel that way. Let me tell you, no, it's not always going to feel that way. How many times have you been through something that you thought was going to take you out? You thought that you were going to lose your breath, you lose your life, lose everything, lose your belongings, lose your loved ones. How many times has your back been against the wall and you've been in a state of panic, in a state of I don't know what to do, but yet still, when tomorrow comes, tomorrow look different. We have to remember those moments, ladies and gentlemen. Remember those moments. Okay, so write a letter to the person who has upset you with roughly equal portions of the letter expressing each of the feelings in your truth. So I want you to go deep down. Those of you who were on the midnight show after dark and were struggling with some of the things that were said, that were struggling with rejection, write the emotions down. We covered this yesterday in our impromptu conversation. Write the notes down. Write it down. Write it all down. Write how you feel. Get it all out. Get it out of this headspace. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Vomit. Somebody said yesterday, have a vomit journal. Have a vomit journal. So basically, what you do is you vomit, not physically, but metaphorically. You vomit. You release everything. Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me just say this. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Many people want to do this, want to talk to people, be upfront, be and do this inspirational, motivational, transformational stuff, right? But this is not easy because people attack you verbally. Now, the reaction I saw a reaction yesterday. Somebody said something, and someone was in the same position as me, does what I do, helps people, and they were kicking off on Facebook, cussing. How many times do you think I've wanted to cuss and carry on? Yeah, I'm human. But you know what? There's a protocol. There is a thing called accountability. And so you can't just get on here and start kicking off. Well, you can, but if you want people to take you seriously and you want to be respected in your field, I would suggest that you don't do that. So these tools and techniques are the things that we use when we, as ordinary people that are in the front line, in the firing line, use to get over the nonsense that people will come at you with. Those of you who know me and have been following me know that I've been stalked just recently, right? Do you think I don't want to get up in my feelings? Yes, of course I wanted to get up in my feelings. Not to cuss and carry on, but I'm a lady. I'm a lady. I'm a queen. Queens don't carry on like that. Kings do not carry on like that. They are regal. So then what I'm saying is to you, there is something inside of you that is so regal, that is so precious, that is so royal, that you don't need to kick off at every juncture, right? And these are the tools that you use. So you get your emotions, you take them out of your head, you write them down, right? And if the other party is not someone who is likely to agree or cooperate with you, they do not even need to be there. They don't need to be there. And this will set the and I hope and I think she's listening because I can see who's struggling. That person don't need to be there. Yes, you want to get the closure. Yes. And closure is key. But what happens when you can't get it? That luxury is taken away. You take back control of your life. You take back control of your mind. You take back control of your thoughts. You take back control of your being. You take back the self that you are. Take it back. You don't give away yourself and don't have no control over yourself. You are in the control of your life. You are the creator. You are the queen. You are the king in your life. You are regal and you are royal. And you don't just give away your things and just leave it like that. What in whose lifetime do we do this? We don't do this. So here's a technique. Right. Write down the pains, every pain, every thought that you have. Write it down. If you have to use cuss word, use the cuss words, right? Because it's between you and the paper. Write it down. Make it plain. So when you read it, you can run with the argument that you have with this person that is not allowing you the closure that you deserve, right? And you can use this for anything, anything in any situation, right? So empty out everything out of your brain. Now, you can do this is your vomit letter. You can either rip it up once you've done it, you can scrumple it up once you've done it, you can burn it, but you're going to do an action with that piece of paper. And this is why you sit with the paper, even if it's for a day, sit with it, get it all out. Remember the memories, remember the hurts, remember the pain, remember the disappointments, remember the values that you had that were not met. Remember all of those things and write it down. Put yourself back in a position of power. Because remember, you are powerful. There is a spirit that lives and dwells inside of you that is so powerful that it cannot be contained. Remember, we spoke about this weeks ago. It's you can't contain the power that you have. You have to release that. You have to release your energy. Yeah, you have to release that and let it flow and let it go into the atmosphere and let it touch the lives of who it needs to touch. But you need to deal with the pain. Otherwise, you will vomit on people and cause pain and destruction on other people. This is what I witnessed yesterday, right? As people who are in the forefront, who are doing things, who are leaders, who are helping people, right? You have the responsibility to manage yourself and your anger. So here's a good technique. And I know that we were talking about this relationship, but this is used everywhere, right? So you write it down. Right. So if the other person is not willing to participate, leave them. Leave them where they are. You cannot change people. You cannot change. There are certain situations you cannot change. You listen, I had somebody message me yesterday and say that they do not have issues in relationships. But the issue that they have is in the workplace where they give and they give and they give. They actually volunteered in an organization and gave everything. The person said that they gave their heart and their soul. And when a job came up, they went for the job and then they done it by score. Now this person had invested months and months and months and months and months in an organization. I just want to give you another reflection of what this is. And then they turn around and say, oh, we're sorry, we can't give you the job. We're going to give it to somebody else. That person turned around and said to me, they were so low, they contemplated suicide. Why? Because all they wanted was a job. All they wanted was to be like everybody else. All they wanted was to feel like they were contributing to their own household, that they were contributing to the world, they were contributing to the environment. And the person said they had found the job that they loved, and this is their truth, and this is what they wanted to do. It was helping people. And they turned around and said, you're 2 points below. So sorry, we can't offer you the job. And then turned around and said to them, but we want you to train the person that we've taken on. Imagine that. And I know some of you have experienced that. I know you've experienced it. That kind of rejection, right? Now, my thing is the person contemplated, thought about it because they felt less than who they really are. Okay? So here's what they did. And here's what I want you to do. Write the letter, get it out. Get every single paining little twig that's pricking your side, that thorn that's in your side, that's niggling you, that's making you feel uncomfortable, that's making you feel like you could hurt yourself, is hurting you, that thorn in your side. That belief that you are not good enough, that you are not formed enough. Let me tell you something about you. Let me tell you something about you this morning. You are wonderfully and fearfully made in the image of the Creator. There is none like you. And even though others outside of you may want to come and try and make you feel less than who you are, let me tell you this: nobody in this world can make you feel less than who you are unless you allow it. Boom, boom, and boom again. So stop allowing it. Take back control. Write the letter. Get this nonsense out of this head. This head was made to create and create beautiful things. Look at the world around you. Look in your garden. Look around your flat. Look around your room. Look at what you have created. Look at what has it been in your hand. That's who you are, a creator, a mighty force that creates and creates and creates. When you allow people to get in here, you then allow them to have the biggest battle of your life. And let me tell you this: the battle is here. It is nowhere else. It's not outside of you. It's here. If you master here, you will master everything. Nobody can make you feel less than who you are unless you allow it. Take responsibility. Take your power back. Take your power back. Oh gosh, it's Freedom Friday. Take your power back. That's what's coming to me this morning. Take your power back. And here's a tool: write it down. Make it plain. Make every emotion connect with your five senses, like we talked about last week. Connect, reconnect with your senses. Then write it down. Then, you see that letter? You see that letter? Put the person's name on it. Put the person's name on it. Put the situation's name on it. Put the thing that's holding you back down on it. Whatever it is, you write it down. Right? That it could be your father, your mother, your auntie, your next door neighbor, or your friend down the road. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You write it down. You make it plain. So when you read it back, you know what you're talking about. Yes, okay, this is that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Oh, really, really? Is that how I felt? You could even leave it for a couple of days and then go back to it. Really? Is that how I felt about that? Yeah. Because a day changes your perspective as well. So anyway, you've written it down. What you do with it now? What do you do with it now? You can leave it as a written thing. You can leave it as a testament to say, right, this is where I was. Let me see where I am in the next 2 months and let me go back to the letter. You can use it like that, to use it as your springboard. Or what you can do is get that piece of paper with all of that emotion, right? All of the feeling, because sometimes we just get in our feelings, right? I was in my feelings the other day. Did you know about that? No, you didn't, because I dealt with it. It's not for you to know, right? Okay. So you get those feelings, you write it down. You write down your unexpressed emotion. What does that mean, Yvonne Michelle? It means the things that you're hiding, the things that you haven't told nobody, all of those things, all of the truths that you feel about yourself, your unexpressed emotions. Write it down, right? And then you exchange the letter. How do you exchange the letter? Let me give you, should I tell you that? No. I'm having a conversation with myself. Should I tell you that? Should I disclose something? Maybe another. Okay, it's here. So many people know that I do not have a great relationship with my father, right? My biological father. Many people know. I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to share a piece of me with you today, because it's Freedom Friday and I'm free and I want you to be free. For years and years and years, I held malice in my heart because my dad couldn't love me the way that I felt that I needed to be loved, right? Didn't defend me, wasn't there, right? I had to use this process to set myself free because I was so entwined in the bondage of hatred and I just didn't like him. Right? Let me be honest. But the only person it was affecting was me. It was the only person it affected with me. So I wrote him a letter. And I took every, and I went from birth to the time. And I think this was when I was 40, just before I was 40, right? And I wrote some stinking words. It had, those of you who are black, you will understand this. It had all the Clarks in the verse. I was mad. I was angry. I was blaming. And I couldn't see me because all I could see was him and the pain. Remember, pay attention inward now that I was in, right? So I used this, and I wrote it down. And then I went to my garden and I burned that letter and I watched it burn. I watched it burn. And as I watched it burn, I felt something inside of me lift, shift, remove itself from me. Now, I'm not saying that the journey was completed then, because forgiveness is like onions. It has layers. But when you're on a journey, because this is not forgiveness of anybody else apart from yourself, right? So in all of this, the truth process, you collate all of the emotion, all of the words, all of the feeling. You write it down, you make it plain, you read it, you connect with it, you align with it. You know that this is your truth. It's got nothing to do with the other person. It's all about you. Remember, I told you weeks ago, everything starts with you. We say it, everything starts with me. That's the mantra. Remember, I told you that. You write it down and you go somewhere. You can rip it up in tiny pieces. You can do whatever you want with it. But whatever you do with it, make sure that you release yourself. It's called loving the self that you are. And that is Freedom Friday today. Loving the self that you are. You are who you are. You are wonderfully and fearfully made in the image of the Creator. The Creator. So when you walk outside and you look and you see the trees, you see the grass, you see the sun and the moon and the clouds, you see the rain, you hear the storms. That came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. Somebody created it. And the same force that created that created you in its image. Therefore, you have the capability to do the same on your level. Doesn't that make you feel great? Because you are great. You are a king. You are a queen. You are a creator and you have come to do great things on this earth, and you cannot have anything bog you down and stop you from moving forward to where you need to go and what you need to achieve for yourself and your family and leave the legacy that you were supposed to leave. This is not just about us being here, people. This is about leaving a legacy, leaving a lineage for those who are to come. You are powerful. You are powerful. So nobody make nobody come thief what you have been given by the Creator. Did you hear what I said? Don't bed it no more. Let me translate in case that you don't understand West Indian. Don't let nobody come and take, steal, destroy what you have worked so hard to create. It's Freedom Friday. It's Freedom Friday, guys. It's Freedom Friday. It's Freedom Friday. So I'm going to say good morning to all. Good morning, Shell. Good morning. Good morning. Sheeny says, I am awake. Good morning. Amina, good morning to you as well. Verona Faye, Rob, good morning. Good to see you here this morning. Oh, we've got Melanin Sparkle. Hello, my darling. How are you today? So glad that you could be here this morning. I'm so happy to see you here. Oh, Felicia is here. Hi, Felicia. How you doing? How you doing? Sandra Moore is here. Remember, you are a powerful goddess and stand your truth and authenticity. Boom. Good morning, Michelle Burton. Good morning, Eda Bliss. Good morning, Pink Diamond. Good morning. I am. Oh, that's Nelson. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Cherokee. Good morning, Kat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All of those of you who are on Instagram this morning. There's more comments coming in. Good morning, Shanice. How are you doing this morning? Love to see you. Shanice says, love these morning lives. Thank you so much. I love you guys being here. Thank you so much. Barbara Cannon, thank you so much. Love to see you here this morning. Ladies. This is a lady. Listen, this is Ladies' Day, man. This is Ladies' Day. Listen, do you ladies have any questions for me that you want me to answer? Because it is Freedom Friday. It is Freedom Friday. So you get to ask me any question that you want. If there's something you've been struggling with in the week, if there's something you just want to ask me, do feel free to ask me this morning, because this is your day. Do you know what? This is one of my favorite days of the week. I think my favorite days are Freedom Friday and Tuesday's Truth. I think they've got to be the two of my favorite days of delivering word for you. You know, we have been looking at self-love, and one of the things that is coming, and it's going to move on to, is forgiveness. It's naturally moving on to forgiveness, but we're talking about, completing. The question was yesterday, how do you complete? How do you get over when you're hurt? It was a big question. How do you get over when you're hurt? How do you navigate through that? What is the processes? And so this is how to complete the past to embrace your future. If you don't complete the past, you're going to have real difficulty in embracing the future, because you're still going to be in the past. And let me just say this too, because it just comes in my spirit. You see, when you can't leave your past behind. Do you remember what happened to Sapphira? When she turned back, when she kept looking backwards, she turned into a pillar of salt, right? She turned into a pillar of salt. So therefore, that tells me that you have to look forward. You can't keep looking backwards, because when you look backwards, something happens to stagnate and keep you there in that position. You've got to stop looking back, because what does salt do? Salt marinates it. If you have a piece of saltfish, it will keep the saltfish good for a long period of time. So it will keep you trapped in your stink. It will keep you trapped in your funk for a very, very long time. So stop looking backwards. Oh, that was a nice. Oh, thank you. That was a nice little nugget right there. Okay, so I don't see any questions. Any questions, ladies? Any questions? Nelson said, I burned that sucker out and it freed me. Yes, sister. Yes. That's what I like to see. You burn it out. Get rid of it. Get rid of all the negativity. Right. Okay, so we have come to the end. We've come to the end of Freedom Friday, because there's no questions, which is great. That means I've been very clear this week, right? So I will be back here on Monday for Monday Motivation, but I do want to encourage you to join me for the Yvonne Michelle show on Monday. We are launching. Now, you would have heard me tell you guys. Sheila comes here, you got me fired up now to do a live video. Like, absolutely, get on there and fire up yourself, get on there and do your live. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about action, girls. We're talking about action, action, action. Listen, Monday evening, I have an amazing guest. I'm launching. Now, this wasn't supposed to be launched. It's a pre-launch. This is a pre-launch. I wasn't launching my show until August, but I've got such an amazing guest to interview. I'm doing a pre-launch on Monday. Her name is Lakeisha Michelle. She is from the USA and she is a YouTube influencer. She's a best-selling author. She's an award-winning singer. She is a coach. She works alongside Lisa Nichols, who is one of the world's number one. And this is not just talking it. She is not one of the number one, I would say actually, she is the number one female speaker in the world. She is absolutely incredible. It just happens to be my mentor. Anyway, but Lakeisha Michelle is going to be here. She's going to be here and we're going to be having a great conversation. So if you want to know how to move your business forward, you need to be on that call and you need to tell your friends. You need to tell anybody that's looking to get into business, whether they want to do coaching, anything, provide a service, sell t-shirts, whatever it is that you want to do, you need to be on that call on Monday. Be ready to ask questions because she's coming on for her interview and it is going to be absolutely incredible. So do join me Monday, 8 p.m. right here on Facebook Live and we will take it from there. But for now, I'm out. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'm going to enjoy my weekend and I'm going to rest. So know what you're doing, make your plan, set your intention, and make sure you deliver it. It's your girl Yvonne Michelle. I love you lots. Stay well, stay blessed, stay safe. Ciao.